and that was just a few tickets short of selling out. So, the word is out, at New League fights, you get, competitive fights, a great atmosphere, a great venue, and then, the crowd loves it.
And that's also a cool thing about, Matt running this particular venue. At first it was, I hope this goes well. And then, you had a series. I believe Matt had an agreement with the place where he ran a series of events here. And like you said, it kept building and kept building and kept building. And now, this venue, this crowd, Holiday City Quality Inn Suites is located just off the Ohio Turnpike. Yeah. And so it's easy access from Indiana, from Michigan, from points farther east, Cleveland, et cetera, et cetera. So this is an easy access point and a very short trip for folks from 3 or 4 states. And so, this particular venue, this particular location, you're building momentum with, the crowd locally, maybe within, say, about a 30, 45-minute drive. But because you're bringing in fighters from Wisconsin, from Minnesota, from Michigan, from Indiana, they're bringing people with them too. And when they're seeing the type of promotion that you run, they're coming back and they're telling other people about it.
Yeah, the word is definitely spreading about the events here, the fighters that Matt brings on. From all over. They're all over the place, and word gets out quick. And what also sells is just the event. There's fights, and a lot of the fight fans come to see certain fighters, but it's the event itself that's put together. It's such a good time here, and word does spread. There's fighters from Toledo, fighters from Indiana, Wisconsin, farther out west and farther out east. They come from all over, and not only is the word getting out for the fans, but the word is getting out also for the fighters as well. We got fighters coming from all over the place. Matt has a good reputation with them, a good relationship with them. And so it's kind of like, who's next to get on the card?
Yep.
There's so many guys to choose from.
This is the pro part of the card tonight as we get Kanat Tassybay versus Jamie Simmons. And Tassybay 1-0. Simmons, this is his first pro fight. We have 4 scheduled fights remaining. Don't forget the main event coming up in just a little bit. Hector Urbina versus Daquan Townsend. That is going to be a serious main event. But this has been a really entertaining card so far.
Yes, it has. The 2 title fights lived up to the hype, the expectations. So for people at home, just because this is his fighter's pro debut does not mean this is his first fight.
Oh, you got that right. Yep.
Like in Ohio, the rule used to be, I don't know if it's still the same, but you used to have 5 amateur fights at least to turn pro and go before the commission. I don't know if the rules changed or not, but just because it's a debut fight for this guy tonight at the pro division does not mean it's his first fight. Keep that in mind.
Jamie Simmons, again, as you mentioned, first pro fight. He's age 25. He does come in with a 6-0 amateur record, though, so he definitely has experience. 2017 fights. In June, he defeated Andrew Johnson via second-round knockout at Pure FC 7. Also, he defeated Elliot Juris with a round 1 submission for Giller Promotions, A-Town Throwdown 11. In January, he defeated Brian Batista via decision at Pure FC 6. So, again, as we talked about, Fred, busy guy.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually, Jay and I were making
out of the red corner, he is a
with,
freestyle fighter representing Team Top Notch.
Tassybay.
I'm sorry, Tassybay, yes. And really nice kid, really soft-spoken. And he was telling us he has a fight scheduled next month already.
Fighting out
so,
of Chicago,
these guys are keeping busy, and they want to stay
Hurricane
active.
Warrior,
and these guys are no exception.
Tassybay!
Yeah, really special kid, shook our hands, introduced himself. Nice guy. Nice guy.
Real nice guy.
His opponent across the cage, fighting out of the blue corner, is trained in wrestling, representing Pure Vita MMA, weighing in at 140 pounds even. Making his professional debut this evening from Abbotsford, Wisconsin, Jamie Killing the Women Simmons!
Well, that's an industry nickname, huh, guys?
Jerry Poe, your referee.
That's an industry nickname, Killing the Women.
Well, it does rhyme. Tassybay, 22 years old. This is pro debut. Defeated Matthew Brown via decision at HFC 34 in Hammond, Indiana in September. So really recent. His amateur record was 4-5. most of his fights with more MMA and total fight challenge. And interestingly enough, Tassybay was disqualified in his first amateur fight in March of 2016. And usually the internet doesn't fail when you look up information. I searched and searched and I couldn't find out the reason for the disqualification, but I always get interested when a fighter gets disqualified in an event, so I always want to see what it was, but couldn't find video or information of it. But I always get curious about, you know, what you get disqualified for.
Yeah, you don't see that often in mixed martial arts.
No, you don't. So far, ground game. Simmons up on top.
Yeah, nice side control from Simmons. He's grinding the elbow in the face of Tassybay, which does not feel good.
And again, the difference. Pro fight 5-minute rounds. Used to the 3-minute rounds in the amateur portion. We've already had a few title fights. Both those title fights went the distance, Fred. So, I mean, people are getting their money's worth tonight. There's no question.
Absolutely. With the title fights between experienced amateurs, you know, this wasn't their first rodeo. So it was no shocker that they went the distance. Some really good fights. And I expect we'll see a lot of that from the pros, too.
Tassybay back to his feet, tries for a spinning elbow, misses. Almost eats a knee.
Trying to throw a knee to the side right there. But because he's behind him, even if he misses with that knee, there's probably no damage that he could get in response.
Well, he's in a pretty safe spot. As long as he keeps his chin tucked like he has right there, he's not going to eat an elbow. He's pretty safe.
Just able to drop back. Now he needs to do something with the potential offense as Simmons up on top. Again, Simmons' pro debut, but definitely no stranger to the fight game. 6-0 amateur record.
Nice. Dumped him right to side, almost. Oh.
Hey, touch him up now. Touch him up, baby. Touch him up.
Simmons again in control. Tassybay on guard.
We've seen a lot of guys pinning that arm down tonight. A lot of guys. Very popular technique lately.
Trying to pop out of guard as we go to the midway point of round number 1. 5-minute rounds in the pros. And again, we still have 3 great fights scheduled tonight, so get yourself a sandwich and a cold beverage because we're going to be here a little bit.
Sorry about that. Tassybay wants to create some space and get back to guard. Rolling away from your opponent in this position is not going to get you back where you want to be. You got to turn into him, bump, get that guard back, protect yourself a little bit.
We're at the 2-minute point of round number 1. 5-minute rounds. Kanat Tassybay versus Jamie Simmons. Here at New League Fights. Hallows Eve, live on iPay-per-view. Back up to a standing position against the cage, working towards the middle. Good sit out by Tassybay right there.
You got to watch that neck.
Simmons leaving himself vulnerable. Both guys potentially leaving themselves vulnerable. Good takedown right there and right back up. We go under 90 seconds to go round number 1.
So just trying to keep that hip pressure and posture up and rain down some strikes. Looks like.
Strategically picking those strikes as Simmons.
That's a smart thing to do in a 5-minute round. You don't want to wear yourself out throwing haymakers at every shot you see.
You saw him kind of strategically picking those spots, but you're right. I mean, they were raining down. As we go 45 seconds to the end of round number 1. Got the heel hooks in deep.
Simmons with the mount. Sprawling the legs out, putting all the pressure on Tassybay on the bottom. Now if he can just posture up and get some strikes off, he'll be in a lot better spot.
So an elbow right there, looking for another one.
He's got to watch a 12-6. It has to be arc. It can't come from 12-6. Cannot come straight down, sorry.
20 seconds. Looks like this one's going to go to round 2. That one looked like that was a straight down. Yep, I think that was exactly what you just talked about. I don't think that's a stoppage, right?
That is a way to get disqualified. He's going to give him a warning, maybe take a point, and have the doctor check him out, possibly.
That's exactly what you said, Jay. I was going to make him say sorry.
Well, he's taking away a point away early. Ooh. I must have warned him once we didn't hear it. The last time I seen that was, I believe it was it John Jones?
Bones Jones.
12-6 on Matt Hamill. He got disqualified in the UFC.
Oh, yes. And he was DQ'd for that.
Yeah, he was.
So momentary stoppage and a point deduction against Simmons in this pro fight. And it came at a very weird spot.
That point deduction could play big later in the rounds.
Yeah, that just evened up that round.
That makes it a 9-9 round instead of 10-9 because he was on top and in control. That makes it a 9-9 round.
And for the folks at home who aren't as familiar with the scoring aspect of it, Fred, I'll start with you. Scoring-wise, what are the judges looking for? How do you get a 10-9, 9-9, 10-8 kind of round?
Well, if you get a 10-8 round, it's definitely because the one fighter was way more dominant than the other. It could have been in a serious position where the fight could have been stopped. A 10-9 round, what judges are looking for is controlled aggression, cage, generalship. Fighters that are doing most of the, how do I say it, like more action. They're setting up spots, they're taking their time. But again, a 9-9 round, just like Jay said, that could be crucial here. If this fight goes all the distance, that could be crucial because that was a round where, Tassybay was not, he may have came up too short, but that just evened up the whole playing field.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I'd have to think that round was pretty well controlled by Simmons, but that point deduction.
Throwing some bombs earlier, left hook coming in.
Ooh, that right kick by Simmons left him wide open to a right. Tassybay narrowly missed. He's going for some serious shots. And he's
looks like Simmons is hurt.
Simmons needs to.
Oh, he went on the way down.
That was a major league blow right there. It's over.
That's it.
Yes,
the ref
sir.
stopped it. The ref stopped it. He's out on his feet. Good stop. Good stop.
Yeah, he can't even lift his hands right now. Lights are on, but nobody's home, is the old saying, I believe.
He's all glossed over.
Yeah, he went over. Tassybay went over to shake his hand, and the hands never even came up to acknowledge. He was looking right at him and didn't see him. That has to be a scary feeling.
Yeah, it is.
Feeling I don't want to know.
Get used to it.
Well, I might not know
Yeah.
if it's happening to me.
Another point deduction.
What? They didn't stop
That wasn't a stoppage?
No, he pulled him into the center of the ring, and I believe he was taking a point away for a knee.
Oh, he was.
Oh, wow. That was close. I don't
Wow.
know if I agree with that. I mean, I can argue with ref, but that was a close. That was really, really close.
I thought it was stopped too, in favor of Tassybay.
Okay.
I did too. I thought he was coming down as the kick was coming, but I could be wrong. The ref makes the final call on that one.
And you saw an official come in to check to make sure, because for probably a good 20 seconds there, I don't think there's any question that there was nobody home.
No, definitely.
But,
I mean, Simmons did look like he was in trouble. He looked dazed.
How do you snap out of it that fast, though? I mean, I guess you just do, right?
Yeah, I mean, the time in between that timeout, that definitely helped him out. I mean, he looks like he's getting back in control here.
Mad respect for Simmons, though.
Right to mount, right to mount. Tassybay's got to get out of here now.
Yeah, this is not where he wants to be. This is where he was in the first round.
This is an amazing turn of events, though. Here we are talking like the fight was over a moment ago, and he was literally out on his feet, and now he's in control again. Anything can happen. And that's why you're tuning in to New League Fights. Hallows Eve, live on iPay-per-view from Holiday City.
One second you're the hammer, the next second you're the nail.
Yeah. Somebody wrote a country song about that, I'm sure, right?
She really did.
The windshield, the bug, the hammer, the nail, all that kind of stuff.
The whiskey and a dog and a truck too, probably.
Oh, there you go. If you play a country song in reverse, you get your dog back, you get your wife back, you get your job back.
Simmons postured up now. Looking to rain down some shots. Nice.
Good roll
sweep.
through right there. Tassybay, excellent job to get back to a standing position. Neither man in control.
Look, he's trying to secure an arm and guillotine there with the head. He gets
Takedown.
slammed for his trouble.
Still kind of holding on right there, but really more in a defensive posture than anything potentially offensive.
Yeah, when you get to the ground like that, you want to let go of that head. You can actually get smitted if you hold the head.
Round number 2, 5-minute rounds. Round number 1, thought it was over, and then it wasn't over. But we're back at it.
Yeah, definitely an interesting turn of events.
Have to, again, you have to tip your hat to Jamie Simmons. Took a illegal knee, I guess, and shook it off. And now, as you can see, folks, in the camera angle, bringing you right in the action. We can't thank you enough for watching. It's getting close to Halloween. Hopefully we're able to take the family trick-or-treating earlier, and now you're settled in to watch a great night of mixed martial arts. We still have a few more fights to go, including the main event, Daquan Townsend versus Hector Urbina. You have an excellent pro fight going on right here between Kanat Tassybay and Jamie Simmons as we're in round number 2.
Yeah, Simmons looking just to grind the rest of this round out. Maybe he's still hurt. Maybe he doesn't want to get back to the feet quite yet. But he's got the mount. He's doing an excellent job.
And there he kind of came from about 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock with that elbow.
Yeah.
More on the side than the point, too. Is the point of the elbow also part of the emphasis?
No, they just don't want the straight down effect. You got to arc it. You can use the point. You just got to make sure it's arced. It just can't come from 12 to 6.
Gotcha. Okay, so maybe going from, like, say, 9 o'clock or something like that. Yeah.
Jamie, across.
Yep, and you hear the corner man, I think, through Fred's mic right there, come across because he raised that right arm to throw an elbow.
Nice sweep.
And then he had to think twice about it. Good roll through, as you said, Jay. Now Simmons and full guard Tassybay.
You got a butterfly hook in.
To get to a position where he can start landing some shots, and he does.
And there we go.
And this will test to see if Simmons is recovered or not.
He's got some heavy hands.
Kind of stepped over him right there. And really kind of lost his spot. Because now Simmons will be able to get to a vertical base and get another takedown. Delaying the inevitable.
There he goes. That must have been a hard
his
spot.
corner.
Smart move.
End of round number 2. Good action. Really good action. I think that's a fair question, though, guys. Jamie Simmons with that knee, kind of out on his feet and coming back. Maybe he bought himself enough time to recover that now he's back fully in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all thought that fight was stopped.
I did.
I definitely did.
Absolutely. You guys see right there. Even referee even see, look, he goes to shake his hand and the arms don't even come up.
Right.
So he's looking right at him and he's not even seeing him.
He was in trouble.
Yeah. And then moments later,
back in control with the mount. So we got a 9-9 round the first round. I would say Simmons won that round, so that would make it what, a 10-8 round minus the point?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The judges definitely have their work cut out for how they're going to score that.
Yeah,
so each fighter has lost a point now.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens this round. This could make or break Tassybay tonight.
Round number 3, the pro portion of the card. 4 pro fights, this one included. Seriously good action at New League Fights, Hallows Eve. Thank you so much for tuning in and for supporting an excellent local mixed martial arts promotion.
Tassybay trying to set up Superman punch, maybe feint him and get him with a head kick.
That's for a left kick right there.
Simmons is winded. Tassybay's got to press him if he wants to get this win.
Yep, and that spin kick right there kind of took too long and almost ended up costing Simmons, but Tassybay couldn't close fast enough to make him pay for it.
Definitely.
Simmons backs him into the corner. Tassybay with a knee. Now he's dropping some elbows on that left shoulder and just to try to break the hold.
He's going to want to pummel both arms underneath and break that grip, because that has not been working for him at all tonight.
Both men looking for essentially a throw. who wants it more basically right now. Simmons. Tassybay looking to try to throw over his right side right there. Simmons just drives right through and takes him down.
Right in the side controller, he's going to slide right to Mount again. And he's got it.
3.5 left to go, round number 3. Gonna love that camera shot. Camera operators, Shar Miller and Nick Reeker doing an excellent job tonight, taking you inside the cage. And Ken Reeker running production also. Robotic cameras.
3 minutes is a long time to be mounted. Tassybay is going to have to move and get out of there. Looks like Simmons may be working for a head and arm. Can't see from the camera angle, but if he pushes that left arm over and slides his head down, he possibly could have a head and arm choke there.
Gets those arms free. Just under 3 minutes to go, round number 3.
Tassybay bumping the sweep back to top.
Real good by Tassybay.
Can Tassybay do something with this position, though?
In my opinion, he's going to have to let this get back to the feet, start throwing some bombs.
One waiting for the other to blink, basically. Tassybay unable to capitalize.
Good knee.
Just over 2 minutes to go, round number 3.
He's going to go for a ride again. Don't let go of the head. It looks like Simmons spiked himself, maybe.
A little bit. Definitely had good hip drive in that takedown, but not the smoothest landing right there. Both men kind of take the brunt. 145 and counting, round number 3. 5-minute rounds. This one of 4 pro fights scheduled for this action-packed card. This has been a fun night of mixed martial arts.
Yeah, there really hasn't been a boring fight yet.
No, no. 2 fights going to the judges' scorecard, both title fights on the amateur side. And even though one of those fights was pretty much predominantly a ground game, it was an exciting 3 rounds.
Oh yeah. I mean, Matt does a good job putting these fights together. I mean, he doesn't look at just putting a fight together. He kind of looks at their background. What would be an entertaining fight. And I think we've been lucky, not lucky, but we've been entertained tonight with the fights he put on.
I think luck might have a little bit to do with it, but again, like you said, Fred, Matt putting the fights together, he sees something in these fighters. He puts really the best possible matchups together, and I think that has something to do with a little bit of the good fortune. I think it has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, he definitely does his homework on these guys. And this, we talked about it before, the main event itself, Dequan Townsend, Hector Urbina, that's worth the price of admission alone right there, that fight alone. And then to top it off with a loaded amateur card, 2 AMI title fights, very competitive. And then we're in our first pro fight, and these guys are going tit for tat, so it's a good night.
Under 20 seconds to go, round number 3. Tassybay looking for a strong finish to the round. But he is in a defensive position right now as we get ready for the horn.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how the judges add this one up with those points being deducted.
Right.
Each fighter lost a point. I think that one impacted round 2 more than it did round 1. Is that fair to say?
I would say so.
Definitely.
Especially when I thought the fight was over.
I apologize, folks, because I totally did. But obviously it continued and it went the distance. Tassybay Simmons, now the 3rd fight going to the judges' scorecard. And see, Fred, it's the old jinx thing. That when you say, well, these fights, they hardly ever go to the decision, right? And then we get 3 good fights that go the distance. So, hey, I wish I'd win $1 million.
Let me know if that works.
Absolutely.
The other stuff worked, but that one never works.
I'll take 500 right now.
Exactly.
And I tell you what, another thing I've noticed too, and Jay, we made the comment when we were talking with Tassybay, he was like always smiling, and even now he's still smiling. So, I mean, the guy is he's a good fighter, excellent fighter, but it seems like he can't get rid of that smile.
I think it goes back to what you said earlier, Fred, about someone who's passionate about the sport and someone who just enjoys being where they are doing what they do. And, that's something right there.
That's an awesome shot.
Yeah, that's something that you don't usually see that after that intense of a fight. And like you said, the smile, he's still got the smile on his face, and they're talking, and they're just, who even knows what they're talking about? But it's awesome to see.
Yeah. And who knows? I mean, who knows if we don't see him again in this very same cage in a rematch?
Yep. They're too busy talking. Referee's calling him up. Now, give us a minute. We fought. Give us a minute. Tassybay Simmons going to the official scorecard as we send it up to